Okay, I'm a little bit disturbed. Every year we run a digital marketing survey. We send out a survey to businesses, mostly small and medium-sized businesses, to find out what they're doing with their digital marketing, what's working really well for them, what their priorities are, and all that type of stuff. And every year it makes interesting reading. But this year, I'm a lot troubled, and we needed to make this video to talk about it. Now, the bit that troubles me the most is the stat that 80% of businesses we surveyed get no leads and sales from their blog content, the content section on their website. 80%. Now, this as a strategy is working extremely well out there, right? It works really well for Exposure Ninja, it works really well for loads of our clients. If you watch our no-cut teardowns and the digital marketing deep dives that we do, you'll see it working for some of the world's biggest brands. This is a foundation pillar strategy of digital marketing, and yet 80% of the businesses that watch this stuff are generating no leads and sales from it. So I can't sleep knowing this. So today we're going to fix this. We're going to go through why this is the case for some businesses and what you need to do if this is you, or if you want to generate more leads and sales from the content on your website, what you need to do that. Let's go. Okay, 80% of businesses get no leads and sales from their blog content. This is devastating. Let's fix it. Just so we're 100% clear on the strategy here, you sell something to customers or clients that fixes a problem, right? That's what every business does. You fix some sort of problem for them. And we'll dive into identifying the problems and all that type of stuff later on. But let's just do an example. One of my friends, let's call them Timmy, they're a bit bored of their hairstyle and they want to experiment with something a little bit different. So they decide to get hair extensions. Now, before they get hair extensions, they've got some questions, they've got some concerns about getting hair extensions. They want to do a bit of research, right? You would. Now, let's say that Timmy was a little bit concerned about these hair extensions hurting. So Timmy might go to Dr. Google and type in, do hair extensions hurt? Now, what is Timmy going to see when they make this search? Information, right? Obvious, but maybe not. So the pages that are going to rank for a search like this are going to be informational. This is guides. If we have a look at the sites here, we've got Simply Hair. Well, let's have a look at that page. We've got hairextensions.co.uk, which sounds like it might be an e-commerce store, but it's not an e-commerce page that's ranking. It looks like it's a question page. We've got Forbes, we've got Crafty Hair Hacks. So these are information sites. So everything that we're getting here is either a pure information website or it's a blog page on a commercial or e-commerce website. All right, but let's turn the tables. Let's imagine that I'm selling hair extensions now. If I'm selling hair extensions, I want to rank for this term. Why? Because at some point, this searcher is going to turn into a customer. They are in the research stage of the buyer journey. So if, as someone who sells hair extensions or sells hair extension consultancy or whatever, I can get that person onto my site, I can give them some useful information in marketing jargon, build a relationship with them, and I can get them to do something like sign up for an email list or even buy a product, I can monetize that traffic. Now, I'm talking about hair extensions, but really I'm not. Every business has some sort of play on this. Your customers are searching for problems and they're searching for solutions to those problems. You can get them on your site with informational content like this and you can monetize them. There's two bits of good news about this. First bit of good news is you pay nothing for this traffic. Obviously, this is organic search traffic. You've got to spend some time writing the guide. But once you've got that guide, once it's ranking, these people are coming onto your site and you are getting them on at no cost. You don't have to spend money on Facebook ads, you don't have to spend money on Google ads, whatever. Those are great channels, but this is informational traffic. You might not want to spend money on it. You can get it free of charge though. Happy days. But piece of good news number 2 is that in most markets, the volume of this informational traffic is much higher than the volume of commercial traffic, i.e. people actually looking to purchase. So if you've got content ranking for these informational terms, you can get a lot of traffic to your website. Now, of course, on a per visitor basis, informational traffic is not as valuable as commercial traffic because commercial traffic wants to buy something right now. You want this traffic on your website. You're going to target that. You're going to run ads for it. You're going to have commercial pages on your site targeting these phrases. Absolutely, you're going to do that. But the great thing about this informational traffic is that there's so much of it and you can get it much easier because there is less competition generally for these sorts of informational searches than there is for commercial searches. And of course, a decent proportion of all informational searches are going to turn into commercial visitors at some point, right? They're going to buy something. whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, they're going to turn into money at some point for somebody. So if you can get those questions answered, handle those objections, convince them that you are the solution to their problem, you might be able to do that today, or you might be able to get them on your email list and do it tomorrow. But this informational traffic wants information. Google is generally not going to serve up commercial pages for these sorts of searches, so you have to have good information, detailed content on your website. Let's do another example, and this time let's use a business that is maybe a little bit less sexy, shall we say, than the world of hair extensions, if that's even possible. Let's say that you're a construction firm, and if you're a construction firm, you're going to have to do risk assessments when you start bidding on different projects. Now, if you're in the UK, you may know that the health and safety executive, this stuff is really boring, so I'm going to talk through it really fast. The health and safety executive says there are 5 steps to risk assessment. So if you're preparing a risk assessment in preparation of working or bidding on a project, you might search for 5 steps to risk assessment. Now, this is a fairly informational term. This is somebody who's going to be preparing a risk assessment, which means they're probably going to be bidding on a project, which means they might be in the construction world. Now, if you search for the 5 steps to risk assessment, unsurprisingly, you will see content. You've got the health and safety executive, the government website, which is the ultimate authority on this, but oh look, what's outranking the government website? It's chas.co.uk, one of our clients, with a piece that we've got ranked, the 5 steps to risk assessment explained. So let's say that you're interested in this, you would come on here and you would go through, oh, these are the steps, and there you have a call to action at the end to become a CHAS member. But we also have internal links through to other pages and other content on the CHAS website. We're going to come back to this later on. Now, if you want to know who does a really good job at this, possibly the best job in the world at this strategy, I'd say it's HubSpot. HubSpot have so much information on their site, and they break it down into different areas according to their different target audiences. So you can see here on their blog resources section, they've got stuff about marketing, they've got stuff about HR, they've got stuff about different social channels marketing, they've got stuff about customer journey. Basically, all of the different people who are interested in different areas of marketing and customer relationship management will find content that's relevant for them on the HubSpot site, because HubSpot wants to get ranked for their questions so that they can come onto the site, so they can download HubSpot's various tools, so that HubSpot can then sell them HubSpot later on. This is how it works. So what's the process? How do you start doing this? And if you're already doing it, but it's not going very well for you, where are the holes that you might be falling into? Well, if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. We usually post 2 to 3 videos a week, all about digital marketing, all helping you to generate more leads and sales from your website. So if that's important to you, subscribe and click the bell icon. Also, drop us a comment. I love reading the comments. They make my day. So drop us a comment. Are you generating leads and sales from your website? And if you are, what is your best performing topic? I'm really curious, and I'd love to see what sort of content that's working well for you. Okay, let's talk about the process to do this, and let's talk about the different mistakes that people make inside that process. Step number 1 is to identify the topics that you want to write about. Now, broadly, these are going to fit into 2 buckets. You are going to be writing content for an audience that knows they have a problem, but they don't know the solution and they don't have a clear path to solving it. Okay? Audience that knows they've got a problem, but they don't know what the solution is, they don't know the path to solving it. Do hair extensions hurt? I've got a potential problem, I don't know what the solution is, I don't know how I'm going to solve it. Now, we have a client called ClearReview, and we've been working with them since before they were even formed. In October 2020, they sold for £26 million, and this is one of the most important content strategies to their lead generation. But the problem that ClearReview have is it's a performance management software company. They are a solution that people don't necessarily know exists, because performance management is a relatively new thing. And performance management software, do I need that? I'm not sure. Now, what people do know though, is that they need their teams to perform better. So let's say that you're a manager of a team and you want to set your team some better goals. Well, you might search for something like SMART Objective. When you do, what do you see? You see ClearReview ranking at the top of Google. So this is perfect, because whilst not everyone who's searching for SMART Objectives is going to be a potential ClearReview customer, a proportion of them are. It doesn't matter to ClearReview that not everyone is the perfect target audience, because they're paying nothing for this traffic anyway. So that's the first type of content that you want to write, the stuff where the audience knows their problem, but they don't necessarily know the solution and they don't know who they're going to buy for. The second type of content that you want to write is audience that knows they've got a problem and they even know what the solution to that problem is, but they don't know who they're going to buy from. They're still in the research phase, but they're much further down the funnel. They're much closer to the purchase. Going back to our great friends at CHAS, let's say that you're a construction firm and you want to bid on particular government projects. You're going to need a Common Assessment Standard accreditation. So you might Google Common Assessment Standard. What do you find? Well, you find CHAS ranking position 0 featured snippet. Oh yeah. With a great piece of content all about Common Assessment Standard. This talks through exactly what it's all about. There's an embedded video, there's images, it looks really cool. And of course, you've got calls to action throughout selling CHAS's Common Assessment Standard accreditation. Perfect. They've given you the information that they need and they've positioned themselves as a solution and they've gone in for the kill and given you a CTA right there and then because they've decided that you're qualified enough to be a relevant customer. This is a pretty tightly defined term and the people that are going to be searching for this aren't too broad. They're pretty focused, they're pretty specific. So a call to action is the right thing to do for this visitor. Of course, this leads us to the first reason that businesses fail with this strategy, and that is that they are choosing topics to write about that their audience doesn't care about, or the people that are searching for that thing aren't their target audience. For example, at Exposure Ninja, we use this strategy. I love camera lenses. I'm obsessed with camera lenses. If you gave me all the money in the world, I would drain my bank account on every single Sony G Master camera lens that there was available. If we wrote content on the Exposure Ninja blog about the best camera lenses, we could get that ranked. But if we wrote about the best camera lenses on the Exposure Ninja blog, given that our target audience is small and medium-sized businesses who want digital marketing help, that traffic would be completely irrelevant. We could get it slammed at the top of Google. We could get featured snippets and all sorts. We are not going to get any leads from that because the audience is just not relevant. They're interested in camera lenses, not digital marketing. It's an obvious example. But if somebody Googles, why isn't my website making any sales? They might be a good candidate for Exposure Ninja's digital marketing service. Let's do it. Why isn't my website making any sales? Here we can see the top ranking piece of content, why your website isn't making any sales and how to fix it. We've got a video embedded. We've got all the information here. We've got a free review. We've got calls to action. We've got a free troubleshooting guide. We've got free books. This is a great piece of content. What genius wrote this? We've got another guide, and then we've got a free review call to action as well. Now, why is this much better for Exposure Ninja? Because obviously the problem is extremely well aligned to the solution that we offer, right? Problem and solution, direct match. Whereas camera lenses, digital marketing review, totally irrelevant. So choosing your topic to make sure you're getting relevant traffic to your website is absolutely crucial. That leads us to the second mistake that people make, the second hole that people fall down. The reason why this doesn't work for them is that they get the traffic onto the site, but then they don't do anything with it. It doesn't turn into leads or sales. Now, there's two ways that you can do this. The first is, as we've discussed before, through internal links. So let's say that I've searched for do hair extensions hair, and I've got this page here. Now what you'll see is that we've got different internal links through to the commercial pages on the website. So even though this is an informational piece of content and I'm in an informational frame of mind when I land on this page, they are directing me through to the commercial pages on the website, which makes sense because if I want to take a next step, I can go there. But in other cases, it's appropriate to go for the kill straight from your content page. For example, on the Common Assessment Standard thing. In this one where we've got the book a demo button. In this one where we've got why isn't my website making any sales? So if it's appropriate to go for the jugular and offer a commercial call to action in your informational guide, then absolutely go for it. Otherwise, rely on internal links and softer, lower commitment calls to action like downloading guides or email signups, that type of thing, in order to get that person to take some sort of action which allows you to build a relationship with them later on. Now, of course, there are other mistakes that people make with this strategy as well. First one being that the content they write is absolute trash. Now, back in 2012 to 2014, trust me, you could get away with writing trash and having it ranked. These days, This is such a competitive strategy. It can work fantastically well, but there are so many businesses doing this sort of thing that you need to be bringing your absolute A game if you're going to get this content ranked. So it needs to be in depth. It needs to be full of different types of media if that's what you're competing against. and it needs to be genuinely good and useful and not boring. Definitely not boring. The second mistake is that people don't give it enough internal or external links, so it doesn't actually rank. So an internal link is linking to these content pages from other pages on your website. Let's say that you're an e-commerce business and you've got a block of text at the top or bottom of your e-commerce category pages. Well, you might want to link through to this content page from that block of text. For example, let's say that you're selling hair extensions and you've got a category page and you say, one of the questions that people ask about hair extensions is, do they hurt? And then you link through to your page about, do hair extensions hurt? Well, that would be a useful link to have because that might be an objection that someone might have before they purchase. By doing that, you're also building the authority of that content page by having that internal link. But you can also build external links to these content pages as well, i.e. links on other websites outside of yours. For example, you might repurpose that blog post, you might turn it into a video, you might turn it into a podcast, and then you might link to the article that you've written from the description in your video or in your podcast. You might feature some guest experts in your guide, and you might get them to link to your article from their websites. You might do some digital PR. You might even run an influencer campaign. If you're interested in more ways of getting links, go and check out this video. But the most common mistake of all with this strategy is that people never fully commit. They do 1, 2, or 3, and then they get bored, and then they give up. The trouble with this strategy is you don't know which of the first 10 pieces you write are going to be the ones that pop off. You don't know, so you have to write lots in order to get some winners. There's always an 80-20 thing going on here where you'll find some posts that just do really well, drive loads of traffic, loads of leads. You look at them, you're like, I don't know if that's my best post, but whatever, it's still performing really well. It's very difficult to predict ahead of time which ones are going to perform the best for you. But I would suggest committing to this as a strategy for at least 6 months to a year to make sure you give it enough time to work. Don't forget also that these pages are going to take time to rank. If you just do a few over the course of a weekend, stick them up and then see by Monday, is anything happening? No, oh well, never mind, move on. Nothing is going to work for you. You need to be committed to this as a strategy. If you want some help from Exposure Ninja to improve your digital marketing, we have a free service called the Free Website and Marketing Review. All you need to do is go to exposureninja.com/review, click the big button, tell us a little bit about your business, your digital marketing, and your goals. Our team will then analyze your website, your current digital marketing, and your competitors. We'll map you out a prioritized action plan, usually 6 to 12 months ahead of the things that you should be focusing on in order to hit your business targets through digital marketing. This service is completely free of charge. Usually you get a video about 15 minutes long within 2 to 3 working days recorded by one of the team here. So go to exposureninja.com/review to request your free website and marketing review today. So there you have it. Now I consider this to be my duty to help you with this sort of stuff, and I was mortified when I saw the statistics in this Marketing ROI survey. So I hope that's helped. Don't forget to leave us a note in the comments. If this strategy is working for you, what is your best performing content topic that you've found for your business? Until next time, see you soon.